everyone, this is Gaming Dads here. I'm going to do a review of the new mob for the Raccoon. So, I just got him, and it's been a little bit of time for me to get acclimated with Raccoon. I had to do some research to see what I was going to do with him. He's got this passive skill that we've never seen on a mob before, and I needed to see how it worked in a variety of situations. Haven't tested it everywhere, but I think I've got a good feel for how it works now. So this is what we got. So when I look at his stats, right now I'd say he's moderately strong, and I would expect him to probably hit, I would say, maybe chicken strength, maybe ninja strength once he's maxed out. That's my guess. And probably about the same with speed. Although the speed, I could see that being capped at a lower speed because of his passive ability. And that's what makes Raccoon interesting, is that he gets a speed boost when he goes through multipliers, which really makes him jump. I would say he's twice as fast as a bat whenever he's doing that temporary speed boost. So, what would you want to use him for? Well, let's get into that right now. So, speed runs, I think that it would be pretty handy for that. Passing him through a gate lends himself towards space race. And of course, since you're doing speed runs with him, potentially World Clash. So I think those are probably the best use cases for him. I've also been experimenting with him personally on looting. So typically what I loot with for a piggy race is Flamethrower, Knight, Loot Boxer, and Overdrive. But I've replaced Knight with Raccoon to see if it increases my speed, so I can kind of move between the brick pinata rounds a little bit faster. And, you know, I haven't been measuring, but it does break up the monotony a little bit, so it's definitely fun to play with and try instead of Knight, just because of the variety. But I do feel like it gets me a little bit faster, just because of the way that you can get through some of these rounds a little bit faster. So map-specific behavior is what it comes down to. So you may have some maps that work a lot better with Knight and a little bit better with Raccoon. So, let's talk about, before we get into some gameplay, one thing that's worth mentioning, I mentioned Knight and Raccoon. One thing I like about Knight is that he forms a nice strong wall, and it's very unlikely that things will break through it. But that wall is usually very close to the front of the line, because Knight's so slow. With Raccoon, you can form that wall pretty well up towards the top of the map. I would say well over halfway up, but he's a little bit weaker, so you're going to see things break through that line more often, those little fragments that come through. But you have breathing room by which to deal with that, so if you're comfortable with that, Raccoon might be a good option for you once you get him up into some good levels. So, I think we're going to go ahead and jump into some rounds here. We'll just do some routine rounds. So we're using Flamethrower, Raccoon, Loot Boxer, and Overdrive here, just to kind of show you how this works. I'm not going to use any boosts, but let's just see what Raccoon does. And I think you get the most out of him whenever you hit gates in succession. So you can see he just kind of jumps right through those. It's almost like he teleports. And that's it. See how he's going up the right-hand side right there? That's a good speedrun strategy right there. I probably won't even get a loot boxer off. Oh, sorry, I already have one. I just didn't see it. My bad. So none too shabby. I don't think I'll max on this one, but I mean, I'll probably get more than 10,000, maybe 10 to 13,000. Though that's the thing that strikes me most about Raccoon, is that he's just fast. Once you hit those gates, he's fast. And there's certain maps where you have a lot of gates on there. There's one where there's 2x gates that run up like a vertical row, maybe 5 or 6 of them in a row. That's a total speedrun thing for Raccoon right there. That's, if you ever see that and try Raccoon on it, it's very satisfying to see him just bust through that, and you'll be done in like 15 seconds. Alright, so let's demonstrate him with the sniper rifle. So, the thing about sniper rifle is it launches things up pretty high in the map. That coupled with Raccoon, and if you've got any gates, you could see him get up to the top of the map pretty quick. I'm not going to do him on a pinata round. I will tell you that I've tried the sniper rifle Raccoon combo on a pinata round, and I've heard that it's been successful for some. I didn't have that success. I found it a little frustrating, to try to get it to work. I think it's going to be map specific, and if you're using Syrian, I could see where that would be helpful to kind of line up your Syrians and knock them up with the sniper rifle. So keep that in mind for your pinata strategies. If you use sniper, Raccoon, and Syrian, try to get your Syrians lined up and just knock them up towards the pinata so you get that sphere. But that Raccoon will get up there that much faster. All right. So, anyways, I'm gonna keep Loot Boxer in overdrive, and we'll just show you how the sniper rifle works with Raccoon. This isn't too bad. I don't think I'll get to the ×2, but you can kind of see the appeal there. All right. Oh, I did get to the ×2. Go figure. But it didn't last because Raccoon's a little bit weak and you got this big balloon alien things coming my way, so I should be able to hold them off, though, once we start overdriving Loot Boxer. But see what I'm talking about with the wall being up there? You lose some ground, but you start up pretty high pretty quickly and you get a lot of breathing room. Let's just go ahead and finish this out. So it's all about playstyle. This is not really my playstyle. I kind of grew out of sniper rifle. When I first started, I liked it a lot, but I really am more of a flamethrower guy myself. Let's go ahead and get some loot boxers at the top. Try to get ourselves some 20k max here. That ought to work. Okay. So we've seen the sniper rifle Raccoon combo. It's not bad. It's fun, if I'm being honest with you. But if you're looking for results, experiment. See what works for you. I think sniper rifle has a place in it, and it does work sometimes, but I'm more comfortable with flamethrower, if I'm being honest with you. All right. So what are we going to do next here? We're going to look at... I think it might be worth our while to show you the garden party. If I can get one here. I'm going to have to pause. Hang on just a second. I'll get to a garden party and show you that, because it's pretty wild. Lo and behold, it was the very next one. All right, so the thing we're going to have to watch out for here is that he basically just skips through sections. So if you're not paying attention, you can end the round before your mobs even make it to the top, and you're just stuck with them 2 levels down, and they're not even at the top of the map. All right. Super, super fast, y'all. Yeah, see, they're still making their way up there, but let's move and groove, man. Come on. Not going for any records here, just trying to show you what they do. I don't think they skipped through the grass, but I promise you, I've had it skip through the grass and end my round too quickly, where the top part I'm at right now, they were, I was there, but my raccoons were, 2 or 3 sections down, and they started trickling in at the end when I ran out of time. It's really bizarre. So keep that in mind. It gets you through the garden party that much faster, though. Okay. And while we're going through this, when I first started using Raccoon, I noticed that I had some sound effects that came up while I was playing the game. The music changed, and I could hear a laughter and a kind of a mocking sound effect. Like the raccoon was in the background making sound effect noises. So it was weird, and it went away after I closed the game and put it back up. But if you notice that when you're playing the game, then that's probably a Raccoon thing. So nothing to worry about. It wasn't expecting that. I hadn't seen that before. All right, so let me find another round here in just a moment. Let's show you some more regular gameplay. So I'm going to try to demonstrate how they jump up there. That's more of the same. We'll do this round, and then I'll show you one where we've got a lot of the gates in succession and how it has appeal for a speedrun strategy. Yeah. Now I'm probably going to level mine out. They do recommend that you keep 1 low level mob, maybe 1 low slow, and 1 low fast mob. I'm going to level mine up all the way. That's just how I play. If I need to have a way to accumulate more champions, where you normally use a low-level mob to do that, I usually just shoot off of the multiplier gate to compensate. So I use gameplay instead. That's not a recommendation. That's just how I play. I'm not saying it's right, but that's why I have everything leveled up, because I don't know, I enjoy leveling them up for what it's worth. All right, so we'll try to do one more round, and then I'll show you a pinata, and that we'll call it a video. So let me grab one more round with a lot of gates. I think you'll enjoy that. Perfect. I found one. So see on the left-hand side, you got 3 gates in a row, and then you got the times 6 on the right, where you've got the tower at the top. That's going to be the main channel where the mobs come down. But if you're speed running, take the left, and let me show you why. That's why Raccoon is awesome. It's over before it started. Yeah. If there's one part of this video that's the demo, that's it right there. And based on what I'm seeing here, that would be the 9,000 bricks for a world-class scenario. So keep that in mind. Clash 9,000 bricks. Should get that with the multiplier. Yeah. So we'll show you one more thing. We'll show you how they would fare in a pinata round, and that'll be that. All right, I'm at a pinata round, and I lucked out. I got the Mario pipe. So I've got 10x in the front, best place for it. I am using flamethrower and Raccoon, and you know what? I think I want Big Bertha for this. Let me stop and try that. All right, I changed my loadout. So now I've got Big Bertha, Raccoon, Syrian, and I went ahead and got my 10x back to the front, miraculously. And I'm going to go ahead and do just a fast charge to get more Syrian out there. Now, I am not on 2x, so I'm not expecting to get a super stellar record, but this is for demo purposes, just to give you an idea of what Raccoon can do. I mean, we've got the gates, so you would expect him to zip to the top. And then, of course, with Syrian and Big Bertha, pretty good damage. I've never used this combo before like this, so I'm going to guess that I'm in the realm of, say, maybe 30k stars. Nothing to sneeze at. I've done better. I've done worse. All right, so let's get that fast charge, and let's roll. Why did I do that? All right. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe I spoke too soon. This might just be a bad combo. And of course, it helps if I stay on the 10. Ah, well. At least you can kind of get an idea of what you can do and can't do. Don't know until you try. You know, there's a lot of trial and error in this game, and sometimes you mess up, and I think I probably caught a mess up on tape. Oh, yeah, I sure did, man. This is gross. All right, so 15k. I mean, if I had times 2, it would have been 30k, so, but whatever. So what's the verdict here? Is Raccoon good for a pinata round? Depends on the map. I think that one right there, what I typically use, if I'm being honest, is Big Bertha, Alien, Syrian, and then I would usually probably double cannon on top of that. But I would definitely wait for a times 2. So for what it's worth, I kind of went against my normal habits there. But that's not what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to show you what Raccoon can do, and then you can decide on your own how it works for you. All right, so that's all I got for the Raccoon demo. I'm sure there's other uses for Raccoon that I haven't figured out yet, and that other people are using that I haven't learned about. So I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. Feel free to drop comments. Subscribe if you want to see some more videos. If I come across some really good stuff for Raccoon, such as using them for World Clash or Space Race, where it's worth a video, I'll make a part 2. So just watch the channel, and you may see a part 2 video drop in the future. In the meantime, though, I hope this was educational and fun. This has been another victory for Gaming Dads. Gaming Dads out.